Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I want to talk about bank products for tax professionals. So we're going to go over the different bank product options available to you.
Hey guys, welcome to today's video.
All right, we're going to go over the different bank product options available to professional tax preparers, tax professionals, and talk about, some pros and cons and what you want to be looking out for when you are deciding on a bank product. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to be doing a screen share. But if you guys have any questions while I'm going through this quick training, feel free to hop in the chat. This video is recording live, so hop in the chat and let me know what questions you have. Hey, Chantel. Hey, Samira. Hey, Kenneth. Hey, guys. Welcome. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. I'm going to go to share screen. Okay. All right. So first things first, I went over a few days ago, I went over some virtual tax software for you guys. So currently we are using My Tax Prep Office. It's mytaxprepoffice.com, and the pricing is super affordable, but this is going to allow you to run a completely virtual tax firm. Now, you can get a discount off of this if you mention Krista, or if you buy it online and you all caps CRYSTA, you'll get 25% off of any plan that you choose. But right now we are choosing the most popular plan, which is going to give you unlimited tax preparation for individual and business. And you also get an additional user. So if you do have somebody helping you prepare taxes, they're going to have their own unique login, and they can actually do your data entry for you. And then you can review the tax returns that way. But this is going to allow you to work completely 100% virtual. Now, once you actually get into the tax software, once you actually purchase the tax software, whether you're purchasing this one or any other one, that's when you're going to choose your bank product provider. Okay, so let me just hop into My Tax Prep Office really quick so you can see what it looks like. So after you get your tax software, then you want to apply for your bank product. Okay, so I'm going to log into My Tax Prep Office. You guys are going to see what it looks like in real time. So this is completely on the cloud, it's virtual. So I'm going to log in. And then once you have like your back end office set up, then you're going to apply for your bank product. And this is, like I said, this is going to go for any tax software that you choose. And there's so many on the market right now. Like you guys, you have options, right? So this is how the My Tax Prep Office portal looks. It's definitely colorful. I like how it's laid out. You're going to have your returns right here, e-file summary, your news summary. But down here is where you can actually choose your bank product. So this is what I want to talk about today. So right now with My Tax Prep Office, they allow you to enroll in these three financial products. So you can do EPS Financial, you can do Santa Barbara TPG enrollment, or you can do Refund Advantage. So I want to go over all of them with you guys so you can see and understand the differences of which one to be looking for when you are selecting your bank product provider. So let's talk about Refund Advantage. So you guys can still see my screen. Give me a 1 in the chat box if you can still see my screen. Let me know it's still working for you. So let's see if I get any ones. Hey guys, hey Perla, hey Keisha. All right, so you guys can still see my screen. So let's go back to Refund Advantage. So Refund Advantage, this is our website. I used Refund Advantage for really the first couple of years of my tax career when I first started my business. And Refund Advantage does have a robust product suite. So you will be able to do refund transfer. So for instance, taxpayers can have their tax preparation fee deducted from their tax refund. So this is where your tax people or your tax clients, they don't have to pay up front for tax preparation. You could just have them take your fee out of their refund. Now, you need a bank product provider to do this legally because you guys cannot take your clients' fees directly out of that. Like you can't, you need to go through a third-party bank, which is why you choose one of these third-party banks, right? Because you as a tax professional, you're prohibited per the Internal Revenue Code from like depositing clients' checks into your account. You can't negotiate a client check. You can't cash one of your client's checks. You can't send their refund, part of their refund directly to your account unless you are going through a third-party bank. So you need to be choosing one, either Refund Advantage, Santa Barbara, EPS, Refundo. Like there are definitely some options on the market for you to choose. So this is the major advantage, is that a lot of clients, they can't afford several $100s for tax preparation out of their pocket. but they will be more than happy to allow you to take your fee out of their refund. So when you go through a bank provider such as Refund Advantage or Santa Barbara Bank or EPS Financial, they're going to systematically take that client's fee out of their refund, deposit the client's refund to whatever method they chose, and deposit your tax preparation fee directly into your business bank account. And all of this is simultaneously. So you never have to, figure out how to do that. You just need to follow your requirements that's laid out in order to provide this service. The second thing that you want to look at in a bank product provider is the taxpayer advance loans. So, this is great because this is going to allow you to stay really competitive with other national brands such as like H&R Block or Liberty Tax, Jackson Hewitt. You're going to be able to provide these advance loans that's going to allow you to really have your clients get anywhere between $500 and $6,000 as a refund advance, right? And this is available nationwide. And these typically start to go from like January 2nd and beyond, right? You can start to provide these refund advance loans. The third thing that I like with Refund Advantage is that they do allow marketing tools. So they will give you like posters to post up in your office. If you guys are still having people come to your office, they'll also give you the capability to send out these loyalty, what do they call them? These mailers. So every year with Refund Advantage, they will send a postcard to all of my prior year clients to say, hey, tax season is coming about, don't forget us. Here's some information about some of the products that we offer, and it'll let them know about refund, about the advance loans that they can apply for, the refund transfers that they can apply for. And Refund Advantage sent that out on your behalf. Now you pay for it. It's not free, but it's really cheap. I think they were only charging maybe about 14 cents or 25 cents. Don't quote me on the price, but you pay for it out of your tax preparation fees that they send you, right? That you can just opt to have that sent out for you. The other thing that I really like about Refund Advantage, and I'm going to see if any of the other bank product providers offer it too, but business loans. So this is really this used to be critical for me because every December Refund Advantage would give me a loan on my fees, right? So every year they'll give me a few $1,000s in December of the following tax season. And that really helped me do a lot. So at that time, I still was running a brick and mortar, which I definitely tell you guys not to do a co-working space. But it will help you kind of with your marketing. It will help you, if let's just say you need to buy a new laptop or a computer, like that loan does help. Now, I didn't apply for the loan right out the gate when I first became a client with Refund Advantage. I waited until the following tax year. So I'm not sure about the requirements with this loan. But this is definitely something to take in consideration, is that you want a bank provider that's going to give you some of that in some of your cash up front, just to bridge some of the dry spots, right? Because if you are doing a lot of earned income tax credit clients, those people, they can't get their refund until after February 14th. But if you have a refund provider or a bank provider that is giving you a portion of your fees up front before the IRS actually funds those refunds, that can actually help you bridge some cash flow. So I really like that about them, is that they allowed you, one, to get a preseason loan in December, and in season, they will advance you a portion of your fees as you are preparing taxes and as those taxes are being accepted by the Internal Revenue Service. And then, of course, you're going to get your, every November, December, they start sending out your actual bank product features. So you're going to be sent your checks, your actual debit cards, all of that is going to come to your office, whatever address you have on file with them as your primary office. You're going to be sent that via, I think it's like FedEx or something like that, that's going to be delivered to you. So if your clients don't have a bank account, you can actually cut them a check, right? You can cut them a check, or you can cut them a prepaid card. No, well, you're not going to cut them a prepaid card. You're going to issue them a prepaid card so they can access their refund. You're going to have their refund deposited to the method that they chose. So your clients would typically have four different options. And you have to make sure that you're explaining the options thoroughly to your clients. You cannot, push them to one option or the other. You have to make sure that you're explaining all available options, as well as when those options would be made available to them. So for instance, you have to let the taxpayer know that they can have have their refund direct deposited directly into their bank account and the time frame in which that happens. You can let them know that they can get a check from you or a debit card from you in the time frame that that happens, or they can be sent a check directly from the Internal Revenue Service in the time frame that that happens. So you're going to make sure that you're just being upfront, and you want to definitely make sure that you are disclosing the fees applicable with all of this stuff, right? Because it's not free. If your clients opt to have their refunds sent via check or a debit card, Refund Advantage is going to charge them for that, what's called a bank product. And all of these banks charge for their bank products, which is to have their fee taken out of their refund and have whatever method of payment they chose is going to be an additional fee for that. So you just have to make sure that you're disclosing that to your clients up front. You're having them sign off on that, and that they understand that what their options are, right? And so here's the refund transfer fees that I'm just not mentioning. So right now, Refund Advantage is saying predictable pricing, $39.95 for a refund transfer fee to your client. Right. So you just got to let them know that. And then they have all of these different options. They sync with Walmart, with 7-Eleven. So if your clients do get a check, they can go to Walmart, which I think Walmart is like everywhere now, and get their check cashed. OK, so that's Refund Advantage. I've used them for a few years. I love them. And, I have nothing but great things to say about Refund Advantage. Another option is EPS. Now, I have not personally used EPS, but you definitely just want to make sure that whichever bank product provider you chose or you choose, that you're just going on their website, you're checking out their fees, like how much are they going to be charging your clients for these fees? How much are they going to be charging you for these fees? What all products do they offer that's going to help you run your business more efficiently, right? So it looks like EPS has some very similar products. I would just check out the fee transfers. It says no ERO marketing fees for in-season loans. So that's pretty neat. It does have a little 2 next to that. So we got to read the disclaimer on that one. But you want to make sure that you are checking out the fees, because, you are dealing with a bank, a financial product. This is how they make their money. They make money by charging a fee to both you and the taxpayer. Now, the third option is Santa Barbara Bank. I have used Santa Barbara Bank in the past. So you can go to for tax professionals. And, again, you just want to check them out to see what all do they offer, how do they offer it, and just to see which bank provider is going to give you the most options that's going to allow you to run your business the best. Okay, so they do have those preseason funds. It says up to $18,000 in cash flow available to tax professionals like you. Get one lump sum deposit as early as December 1st to help you with advertising, payroll, office setup expenses before tax season begins. And then it says simply get paid right away during tax season. So beautiful. So it looks like they have very similar products as Refund Advantage does. And so you just want to figure out which one is going to be best for you. Now, with the tax software, with My Tax Prep Office, they allow you to sync up with all 3 of them, right? So let me go back to the software. So this is how the software looks. So I can actually enroll in all 3 of these, right? I would honestly just stick with one. You can enroll in all 3, but I would push all of my tax returns through at least one provider that I really like. So you can make sure that you're solidifying, you're building a great relationship with that bank product. Because typically how these bank providers work is that the more business that they see that you do, typically the more incentives they offer you, right? So not only do you get more incentives, but they also will potentially qualify you for a higher loan for next season if you need it. Okay, so that's really important. So I'm gonna stop my share for a second. I'm just gonna check in with you guys just to see what you guys are saying in the chat bar. So Mona says, what are the qualifications to get a bank product? So yeah, you just need your EFIN. So as soon as you get your bank software, as soon as you get your tax software, you want to go ahead and apply to a bank product. So like I said, Refund Advantage, EPS, Refundo, Santa Barbara Bank. There's so many on the market that you can really partner with. And you're just going to fill out the application. The application process is typically done within your tax software. So that's why I say you got to get your tax software first. And then in your tax software, there's going to be an option for you to enroll in one of those bank products and go through that enrollment process. So they ask for things like who's the owner. They're going to ask for your EIN number, your business name, your social security number, the address of the business, the telephone numbers of the business, all the officers of the business. You're just going to go through this process of answering all those questions. And then at the end, It typically takes about 15 minutes to fill out the bank application. That will be securely submitted over to the bank that you chose, that you're applying to. And it typically takes the bank anywhere between, like really same day to a few days, depending on how busy the bank is and if they got their back end systems tightened, right? Because I remember sometimes it could take a few days to get an approval from a bank. And then other times it was like within a matter of hours. So it really just depends on, the time of day and how busy they are, right? But you do need your EFIN. So this is important because you can't, electronically file tax returns until you have your electronic filing identification number. You can't submit electronically. You can't get linked up with the bank provider until you actually have your EFIN, right? So you want to make sure that you're applying for your EFIN as soon as possible. People typically ask me, how long does it take? Per the Internal Revenue Service on their website, they said that it could take up to 45 days. You just want to give yourself a buffer though, because last time I applied for my EFIN, you guys heard me say this, like it took 3 months. It took them 3 months to be my EFIN. So you just want to apply for a buffer, allow yourself that extra time. If you already haven't got your EFIN, do it now. You guys still have more than enough time to get your EFIN now. So go ahead, apply for your EFIN now, submit over your suitability check, sign into your e-services account, and you just got to get fingerprinted and send that to the Internal Revenue Service to the address that they specify. The only thing for your EFIN is you can't be delinquent with your own taxes, right? So you can't, not saying that you can't owe taxes. You can owe taxes as long as you're not delinquent. Like as long as you're on like a payment plan, you're on some sort of agreement with them. So that's one of the requirements, is you can't be delinquent. The other requirement is you can't have a felony on your record. So you can't have like a white collar crime or something like that on your record, or maybe you've like embezzled funds in the past or something like that, right? Those two things would potentially disqualify you from getting your electronic filing identification number. So you just want to keep that in mind. So Michelle says, so are you using Crosslinks or My Tax Prep Office? You may have answered. So yes, Michelle, I am using My Tax Prep Office online, and you guys can actually get a discount by just typing in Krista. I'm gonna just type it into the chat. It's all uppercase Krista, but this is going to allow you to work completely 100% virtually. You're actually going to send a link to your client. The client is going to onboard themselves. They're going to take a picture of their tax documents, and all of that is going to be securely transferred over to your My Tax Prep Office software, right? Your online software, where you're just going to pull up those documents. You're going to start completing the tax return, and you can now also communicate with the taxpayer completely virtual, right? So like, I just found out that we can text our clients right now within the tax software. So if I have a question, or if I'm missing a document, or if I want to get the client to hurry up and submit me over some things, everybody uses text message nowadays. Everybody has their smartphone handy with them, and some people are slow to respond to email. So you actually can, within the software, send them a quick text like, hey, Bob, I need you to take a picture of this W-2. It came in a little funny, whatever the case may be. But you can quickly communicate with your clients all through the software, which I love. Lahusia says that she's still waiting for her EFIN. When did you apply for your EFIN? Lahuesa. Sorry if I say your name wrong. Lahuesa. I like that. Mona says credit rating is not an issue. You know what? I'm not sure. These bank products, they are banks. So they may look at if they're looking at whether or not to loan you money, like right now, I think in November, they're going to be starting to accept applications for preseason loans, which they can give you a few $1,000s in December for your tax business. They may use some credit requirements for that. They may be pulling credit for that. I mean, I know I would. If I was a bank and you're a new client of mine, I want to see what type of credit you have to see your ability to pay and how responsible you've been with paying your loans in the past. So I can see that may being a requirement for a loan, but it's not a requirement just to become a bank. Just to get with the bank provider, it's free. There's no loan, there's no credit requirements. As long as you have your EFIN, you can get synced up with any bank provider of your choice, right? As long as your software supports it. And right now, My Tax Prep Office supports 3, which is Refund Advantage, EPS Financial, and Santa Barbara Bank TPG. ATP gives you half of your return fees. Yeah. So Mackenzie, like a lot of them do that now, like Refund Advantage, Santa Barbara Bank, like they will give you a portion of your tax fees as your as your client's tax returns are being approved by the Internal Revenue Service. They'll start to release some of those fees to you, which definitely helps with cash flow, because in January, you know, let's just say if you just have all EITC clients, you're not going to get paid till mid-February, right? And that's tough. You got to go through all of January with no money. So they do take that into consideration, which is why they do offer those in-season advances where you can get a portion of your fees up front as the tax returns are being accepted by the Internal Revenue Service. Oh, okay. I can call you La. Okay. Or is it LA? Rolando says, I'm on Fast Tax Inc. This coming tax year, I'll be switching from Drake software to Crosslinks. Okay. Yeah, Rolando, we are currently on My Tax Prep Office online, which is completely virtual for you. And it's going to allow you to run a virtual firm. So I would just invite you to take a look at it, mytaxprepoffice.com. And if you do decide, you can get a discount from that. You may have missed it. Question posted above. Oh, I did miss it, Jasmine. So let me see. Jasmine, where did you post the question? Can I do bank products virtually? Yes, for sure. Yeah, bank products for sure. You could do virtually. The only thing, well, see, okay, hold on. If you're gonna do if you're going to be giving people checks and debit cards, that might, I mean, you're going to have to send that to them, right? So that can get a little tricky. That definitely can get a little tricky if you're sending people checks and debit cards. I know I've done that in certain instances where the person did not have a bank account and they didn't have the ability to open up a bank account. I ended up mailing them them a debit card. I end up sending it FedEx delivery, but that costs extra money. So I wouldn't advise to do that. So I would just, I would coach your clients, let them know to just open up a bank account. They should, I mean, honestly, I would implore them to do that, to just open up their own bank account. And so they can have their refund directly deposited into their bank account, even if they have to get their own money card. Because like, if you're like, I wouldn't advise sending through the mail, like people's checks and debit cards, like that just defeats the purpose. So I would just tell them if they're in another state, I'd be like, hey, you need to go open up your own bank account. And when you have it, send me the routing number and account number. Or you can get a money card. You know, they can walk into Walmart or CVS or something like that and get their own money card and then send you their routing number and account number that way. But I definitely wouldn't be mailing anything. I would just have them send me their routing number and account number and put everything into their own account. Do you have those virtual customers? Okay, so I'm considering going 100% virtual. I've had an office suite for the past 4 years. Do you think it's wise to go virtual or suck it up? Or suck up the overhead costs? Yeah, you know, that's a really great question. So I had a storefront for just like you for like 4+ years. And then I just sucked it up one year. And I was like, you know what? I'm not like, I was literally paying like 18 grand per year, just in overhead, just having a office space, plus utilities. And if you're doing taxes, you know, like that's a huge chunk of your money. Like, what could you guys do with the extra $18,000 a year? Like, that's a lot of money. So I remember just being so frustrated. And I didn't, you know, co-working spaces weren't really big then when I was doing taxes. And so what I would do now, if I started all over from scratch, I would work from home virtually. And I would look to see what were some co-working spaces that were really cheap. And right now there are really cheap in the Metro Detroit area. I can rent a desk right now at a nice location for like $150 per month. So I would just do that right now. I would rent a desk, and when I needed it, if I wanted to just get out my house because I focus better when I'm not at home, I will work at my co-working office, which now I'm going from $18,000 a year in overhead to, just $1,200 or so, right? Just $1,200 a year, $1,300 a year. That's one business tax client. One business tax client can literally pay my overhead. So that's how you want to look at it. I would not tell you guys to go out and get a whole nother storefront, because you don't have to now, right? You can work virtually. And if you just by chance just wanted an office, get a co-working office and share it with other entrepreneurs that are in either your business or other businesses like insurance or whatever. Like that's the best way to do it. And then so the year that I went completely virtual, I sent an email to all of my clients and I said, hey, this is how I'm working. Here's the link that you're going to click on to onboard yourself to securely submit over your tax returns. And I let them know if they had any questions, that they can call me, they can email me, that I was there for support. And I just had a hard, fast rule, like this is how I'm working. And if you want to work with me, this is how we're going to work. Right. And I would say about 90% of the people transfer virtual. Like 90% of the people was like, actually, this works out for me. And you guys don't realize how powerful that is. Like people can get their taxes done at work on their lunch break. They don't have to be rushing out trying to get to your office to drop off these documents, come back, pick it up. They don't have to be waiting in your office with their kids at 8 o'clock at night. Like those are the old days. Now they can be from the comfort of their own home, snap a picture of their W-2s, their 1099, securely send it over to you. And within an hour or two, you can send back over their completed tax return. That's how you want to run your business. So I would just say, you just got to set the standard, guys. You guys just have to set the standard to be like, this is how I do work. And if you want to work with me, this is how you get in, right? This is how we work together. Jasmine says, my question was, what happens if you withhold a client's fees, but their refund is intercepted by another agency? Ooh, Jasmine, that's a really good question. So that happens. So every year, Jasmine, I would have about like $4,000 to $6,000 in intercepted fees and refund fees that I could not collect on. And that was painful, right? That was painful because that's $4,000 to $6,000. Like, you know, what I could do with $4,000 to $6,000 was the options were there. So, you know, the only thing that I would say that you could do is try to collect the fees from the client directly. Send them, you know, call them first to be like, hey, your refund was intercepted. Can we work out a payment arrangement? I didn't get paid for services. I didn't get paid for preparing and filing your taxes. And most people would try to work out something, try to work something out with you. Even if they can pay you $100 or $50, just try to collect something just to kind of get that cash flow back in. There were instances where I couldn't get a hold of the client. It was a bad number. They moved and they didn't come to me next year. And honestly, you just have to write that off as a bad debt expense, right? So, you know, if you can't collect, then you just have to write it off on your taxes as a bad debt. The third option is, there were people that came back the next year who hadn't paid me the prior year. And they were remorseful about that. They were like, oh my God, I really want to pay you for doing my taxes last year. Can you just include that in the fee this year? Or they paid me out of their refund once they got that in the mail. But honestly, I would say about $4,000 on average per year was lost just to people who their refunds got intercepted. And I know offices who were preparing way more taxes than when I was doing. And they would tell me that they will lose $20,000+ in intercepted tax fees, like refunds that were intercepted. So just imagine, like, honestly, it's just the cost of doing business. You just want to have at least a follow-up process, call the people, try to collect what you can, even if it's $50, just be like, what can you pay on this, right? You just want to collect something that's just cash flow. And if not, hit them up next year, see if you can include it in their fee, if you can include it in that year's refund, if they get that refund. But yeah, or you just have to write it off as a bad debt. And I frequently did that every year. C. Walkin says, I have been testing my tax prep office for about a month now and love it so far. I was excited to hear you recommend it. Love all of the online features. Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, so for anybody, like I said, if you guys want to check it out, let me just see if I can reshare again, but it is here. So this is how it looks online. Like, this is how the portal looks, like once you actually get the software. And if you just want to do a return, all of your information will be right here. So you can add a new return here. You can say if it was an individual, a partnership, a corporation, an S corp, a fiduciary, or exempt organization, and you can proceed to onboard that client, right? To go through the client process. If it's a new client, you're just going to send them an invite. You're going to go to invite clients, and you're going to send them a link to actually set up their My Tax Portal account and take a picture of all of their source documents so that they can be securely transferred over to you, and you can use those source documents to prepare their taxes. So the pricing is here, guys. Like I said, if you do the essentials plan, or if you do any plan, you can tell them Krista referred you, or type Krista in the checkout, all caps, and you can get a nice discount off of these amounts. And even with the advertised pricing, guys, like it's way cheaper than most other tax software that I've used in the past. I was spending about $1,400 to $2,000 for my tax software every single year. And mind you, guys, like I get this question every so often. People ask me, like, is tax software pay annually? And yes, tax software is definitely paid annually. You pay it every single year. So just keep that in mind. If you do go with My Tax Prep Office, they've committed to actually keeping your price locked in for life. So whatever price you get in at now, you're locked in for life, which is great. You don't have to worry about your fees, your tax software fees increasing year over year. So let's see, what else are you guys saying? Thanks for information. You're welcome. Would you sign up on a tax franchise? Oh, hey, Marcus. Okay, so I love that question. So you just have to look at what a tax franchise is. A tax franchise is you coming up underneath a brand, right? And you're utilizing the brand to help you grow this business faster. So typically back in the day, you would come up underneath like an H&R Block or a Liberty Tax. And that they charge like 40 grand just to come up underneath their brands now. But you would come up underneath the brand and you will be provided with a turnkey system, right? They'll give you everything that you need to run this business. So it's just like buying into a McDonald's. You don't have to figure out how to run a restaurant, what steps you should be doing. You could just buy into this franchise, right? And for a lot of people, that's very enticing. For a lot of people who don't have time to figure it out, who don't have time to just wonder how to run this business, buying into a brand could be a great way to get that knowledge and support. The other flip side with that is now you have programs that can teach you the exact same thing without you actually coming up underneath a brand. So for instance, when you go up underneath a brand like McDonald's or a H&R Block, you pay royalties on the work that you do and every year going forward that you are under this brand. So that can be a nice chunk of your income that just goes to you utilizing this brand, right? And you just have to take that into consideration. If you don't have to pay ongoing royalties and you can also get the same support and knowledge of being with the franchise, just buying a system, then you want to look at that option. And I tell, and I try to be as fair as possible to you guys. Like I try to give you information on how I would want to receive it, which is straight to the point and real. And so you could do a franchise, pay the royalties ongoing in perpetuity. Or for the life that you're with this company. So you'll pay them a fee every year like you would pay for your tax software. You'll be paying the brand a fee or royalty to stay up underneath them. Or you can learn how to build this business yourself, learn all of the components of growing this business, and just do that. And you can eliminate that ongoing expense, that ongoing royalty payment that you will be paying a franchisor. And you definitely can do that with Tax and Accounting Clients on Demand, which is my program that teaches you how to build a virtual tax and bookkeeping business, shows you how to get tax and bookkeeping clients, and also gives you support. So this is a major component that a lot of people are probably enticed on franchises, that they get support. But with my program, you get 100% support. So if you guys have like a tax question, if it's like a difficult client situation, if you're stuck on your marketing, you have me and my team to turn to get that support through tax season and beyond. So that's the great part about a program versus a royalty. You pay for the program one time, you learn everything that you need to learn, you get support for a year, and that's it. That's just that one investment. Or you can buy a franchise and continue to pay that royalty every single year you're with that franchise. Okay, so someone says, is it too late to try to become an enrolled agent before this tax season? You know what? Becoming an enrolled agent is a marathon. It's not a sprint for you guys. Like, I don't want, like, a lot of people feel like they have to rush that. You don't have to rush it. You guys can still do taxes. You guys can still do taxes without being an EA, right? Obviously, you do want to know tax law. So you want to know the basis of credits and deductions and just circular 230, like the things that you have to show due diligence on when you are serving tax clients. But there's nothing stopping you from growing this business, from starting this business, from being successful in this business. You don't have to become an EA. So I don't want you guys to feel like you have to rush through that process, because it is tax law. You do have to pay not only for study material, you have to put time aside every single day to commit to studying. So I tell people to try to put like 1 to 2 hours a day just on studying for the enrolled agent examination. And then it takes typically about 60 hours of study time to take all 3 parts of the exam, right? So it's about 20 hours per exam on average. Business probably take you a little bit longer. But if you do that, then you can take your time and you won't feel stressed and overwhelmed. I don't want you guys to feel like you have to become an EA for tax season. You don't. Just know the basics of tax law, know how to confidently prepare a basic tax return. You'll be set. You'll be good to go. And then as you are going through the motions, then take the exam. So to really answer your questions, I honestly feel like you guys can take at least 1 exam this year. So you still have you still have all of November, all of December. That's 2 months to study. And take at least 1 exam. You could probably get away with 2. You probably can take the individual and the representation exam over the next 60 days if you really had the time, right? But if you're like working your 9 to 5, you have a family, you're trying to grow this business on the side, honestly, how much time do you have to study and really prepare? So you just got to look, everybody's unique circumstances is going to be different. So you just have to take that into consideration. But if you're like a single person, you work in a part-time job, you could get away with taking 2 exams this year. But if you aren't, and you're the latter, you're like the person that's like 9 to 5, you're building this business, you have a family, I would say you could take at least 1 exam this year, at least 1, and then take and just set a deadline for the other 2 exams. Oh, Michelle. Yeah, thank you for that. So Michelle was answering Jasmine's question. She says, call the offset line information to get that before filing. So yes, thank you, Michelle. So what you can do, Jasmine, as well, and that's something that we did start doing. We will ask the question first, because when you have hundreds of clients, it's hard to call that offset line for all your clients, right? But we will ask the question. Do you owe child support, or do you owe the Internal Revenue Service, or are there any outstanding debts that could impact your refund? And if the person had any indication that, yes, I do owe child support, or I do owe student loans, or I do owe the IRS, then we will call the IRS offset line, right? And let me just get that number for you guys so you guys can put it in your phone. And I would actually make a list of numbers, of frequent numbers to have. I would make a list of that. I would make a list of, I would have links to publications that you're going to use most often. And you just want to save all of that in like either on your bar, on your internet browser bar. You can you can bookmark links. I would do that. So, because honestly, you're gonna come across the situation multiple times, and you don't want to have to keep searching for this information. So I just typed in the IRS offset number. You can pop that number in your phone, and when you need it, when you ask that client question, like, do you owe any debts that could impact your refund? If they give you yes, then you can check that for them, and just let them know that get their permission that you're going to check their IRS offset, their debts on their Social Security number, because you do need their permission to do that. You can't just do it on your own. So yeah, you would get their permission, you would call that number. And honestly, it's all automated. So you just type in their Social Security number, you would verify them. And then the IRS, the automated system would be like, no IRS debts found, or no offsets found at this moment, or something like that. But if they do owe, it'll let you know like who has an interest on their refund. So it'll say Department of Treasury, or child support something, right? Whatever they say, but the automated system will tell you who exactly has put an interest on that person's Social Security number for their refund. Thank you, Michelle, for putting that in there. Oh, Michelle says, what are the advantages of being an EA? So the advantages for me on why I became an EA was because it will require you to have a greater understanding of tax law. And when you have a more in-depth knowledge on tax law, you can take on better clients, or not even better clients, but just more higher paying clients, right? So now you can do dollar for dollar. I can just know basic tax law and just know credits and deductions and just work with EITC folks, which you could probably charge a couple $100s per client for that. You would need hundreds of clients to make a six-figure income. Or I can invest in my knowledge, become an EA, which is going to require me to understand all of tax law when it comes to individual business and representation. And I can take on more of a higher value client. Now I can work with, let's just say, a corporation that has gross receipts of over $2 million in income, and they have rental property. And because I have a greater understanding of the law, I'm confident to take on that client. And now I can charge this client $2,000 for his tax return, as opposed to just knowing the basics and only being able to charge $200. So if I can get $2,000 tax return clients, it will literally only take me, just a handful of them to make a really good income, right? Or I would have to get hundreds, if not 1,000 of $200 clients to make an income that I deserve. So one is just working smarter. You just like, okay, how can I increase my knowledge? How can I go after a higher paying type of client, because I would need to be more knowledgeable? Or I can get a whole bunch of these regular clients, which, and then two guys, you got to take this into consideration. The competition is also less, right? The competition on EITC is high. Everybody's trying to get EITC with Schedule C, EITC with the W-2, child tax credit. Everybody can do that. The client can do it themselves on TurboTax, right? So it doesn't take any specialized knowledge to do that. But if you wanted to work with the company that had over $5 million in gross receipts, they also had rental income, they also had dividends, stocks, and bonds, it takes a higher level of knowledge to work with that type of client. It's less competition, and you're also going to be able to charge way more money to do that client return. So I love to teach you how to do that, guys. Like I want to bring you over to the 2.0 way. I want to show you guys like how to do that. Great question, Michelle. Jasmine's like, my clients on demand course is where it's at. Thank you, Jasmine. I love you. I love you. Yep, Latoya. So I just posted that number in the group. It's the IRS offset number. If you want to call that number to see if your client owes any past taxes or debts, you just have to get their consent, and you can call that number on their behalf to let them know. Famba says, what do you think about ProConnect Tax Online? So let's see. Let's share my screen. So you said ProConnect Tax Online. So let's see what that is. So let's pop up a new screen. ProConnect Tax Online. Let's see what that is. I think I used this before. Is this the pay-as-you-go option that I tell you guys about? So let's see here. Oh, why are you making me sign in? I don't want to sign in. Just tell me what it is. Okay, so it's cloud-based. So what's the cost? So let's go to pricing. Yeah, I think I use this because they have a pay-as-you-go option. I used this like my very first year, like several years ago. So yeah, so look at this guy. So 40 returns is $2,035. That is absolutely ridiculous, right? You can go to my tax prep office. For their advertised price is $795. Now, mind you, if you use my discount code Krista, you're gonna get a nice discount off this $795. But you got unlimited individual and business returns, and then you got something like ProConnect, where just for 40 returns, you're gonna be paying $2,000. So no, I don't like that. 10 returns is $479. Whereas you can go to My Tax Prep Online, you can do unlimited returns for $495. But again, that's not even including my discount for Krista. And this is a completely virtual software. ProConnect looks like it's completely online too, but I don't know if it allows you to work completely virtual. But no, like that pricing doesn't make sense. That pricing does not make sense right there. I don't like it. So to answer your question, no, I don't like the pricing. You want to be able to get a software that's going to allow you to have unlimited filing for both individual and business for a reasonable fee. Are there tax preparers who offer apprenticeships, no pay to get experience preparing taxes for new EAs? Audra, you know what? We are considering doing something like that for you guys. Not paying you. Of course, you're going to get paid, but send me an email. I'm gonna put my email in here for you guys. It's hello@kristatayez.com. I'm giving my assistant more work to do. Ha ha ha. Send me an email and let me, if you are interested in working with an experienced tax professional for this upcoming tax season, if you want to get experience, I do have some experienced tax people that need help, and I can match you with some people, and you can work completely from home virtual. You don't have to go to anybody's office or anything like that. So this is for if you want to get experience in taxes, you want to make some money, but you still want to work from home, send me that email, because we're going to come out with a way where we can match you guys with other people, and you can work with them and get that real world experience while you're getting paid. And this is also if you are new to bookkeeping and you want to work with somebody first to get that experience with bookkeeping, send me that email too, and we'll match you with someone who needs help with bookkeeping clients, just to get you some money in the door now, as well as get you that good experience that you are wanting. So it would be $7.95 each year if we got that package. Yes, it would be $7.95. And honestly, it would be cheaper than that because you're going to use my discount code, Krista. So I believe it's going to be $5.95 with the discount code. And you're going to be locked in at that price year over year. They're going to lock you in. How much does an entry-level EA make? If you're going to work under someone else in a tax office or an accounting office, the typical average salary is anywhere between $30,000 and like $50,000 a year. $30,000 if you don't really have much experience, you're probably going to be getting paid that. I've heard some people get paid less, and I've heard people get paid more. If you become an EA, you get your own clients, you grow your own business, the sky's the limit, because now you're responsible for bringing in those clients. You're responsible for your pricing. And in that case, if you guys are an EA or wanting to become an EA and learning how to grow this business, Tax and Accounting Clients on Demand is the program for you. That'll teach you how to grow to 6 figures. So if you're working with me like a coach, you can expect to make anywhere between 5 and 10 grand per month, right? If you go work for somebody else, you can expect to make about $30,000 a year, which is, I think, is what, like $2,000 a month or something like that. The prices are affordable compared to Crossings or Drake software. It makes it very easy to get started with those prices. Yeah, it does. Makes it very easy to get started. What are the most profitable niches for EAs? I don't want to get into a niche that isn't worth it. You know what? That is a really great question. I should do a whole video on that. Like, honestly, who asked me that? Reese's Peanuts. Is that your name on here? Reese's Peanuts. Reese's is my favorite candy, by the way. Fun little fact. I should do a whole video just on best niches to go after in taxes and bookkeeping. Yeah, I think that's a really great question. But honestly, I would, at this point, you want to go into a niche that you're most passionate about, because the way I teach it, you're going to have to position yourself as the expert in this niche, and you're going to be talking to people in this niche every single day. So if you don't really like the people that you're talking to, if you don't really like the topic, if you don't like the law around that industry, or the accounting around that industry, it's not going to be pleasurable for you. So just go with the niche first that you probably already, one, have experience in, or two, that you're passionate about. And then I'll do a whole video on that. Do you think working in a plaza with other types of tax business could make or break me as a startup? I decided to get a small office with my boyfriend that does a different business. You know what? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And honestly, with how I teach it, most of your clients are going to be coming from online anyway. Like how I teach you guys how to get clients, you aren't necessarily going to be getting a lot of clients in your area, so to speak. Obviously, you're going to reach out to friends, family, colleagues, people that you already have a relationship with. But how I teach it, my clients are getting clients in other states, right? So it's not going to matter, because the people that are next door to you, like, they're just relying on traffic of the plaza. And that's not how I teach you guys. Like, that's the old way, like just to rely on foot traffic around the area. Now you could be getting clients from all over the place and from, you know, from wherever you are. So no, I don't think that will be an issue. It won't be an issue. But if you're already in the office with you and your boyfriend, great. Like, yeah, do that. Hopefully the cost is down, because that's the only thing that concerns me by you saying that you now have a storefront, is that you're going to, like, that cost is crazy. Like, I don't want you guys spending $1,000 or $800 a month plus utilities on a storefront, when you could just be in the plaza or an office suite, or a co-working space, and only paying, like, you know, $100 to $300 a month, and saving more money in your pocket. Because it's really, guys, if you really think about it, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you're able to keep. Like, I know a lot of people making 6 figures and only netted $3,000 for the year, right? Like, you don't want that to be you. You don't want to be making all this money and have all of these added on expenses to where you can't even enjoy yourself. You can't even, you know, live the lifestyle that you really want, because you're not netting the money that you need. Krista, what's the best way to contact you for the tax and accounting course training? Yeah, so we could do 2 ways. So if you're like, yep, Krista, I know I want to work with you, you can just get signed up. I'm about to put it in the description box now. But if you want to talk to me first, if you're like, yeah, I still don't know if this is a good fit for me, you can actually book a call with me, and we can talk about, I can at least point you in the right direction. I can let you know for sure, based upon your business goals, if this is going to be a right fit for you. But tax and accounting clients on demand is a good fit for you if you are new, or if you already have experience and you want to grow a tax and bookkeeping firm virtually, and you want to get to at least $5,000 to $10,000 per month. So if you guys want to check out some reviews, or if you want to check out, like, if people are making money with this program, you can go to my Instagram page. We're working on getting some client interviews out over the next couple of months, so you can actually hear from real world people just like you that join my program that are now making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 per month. We're going to be coming out with that. But if you want to see screenshots of what people have been posting, just their success, I've got that on my Instagram page. If you go to Instagram and you search Krista Tyus EA, on my page, it's a little a saved folder that says client results. You guys can click on there. I have about like 20 plus screenshots of clients that are posting like, oh my God, I made $6,000 this month, or oh my God, I locked in my first bookkeeping client at $500 a month or $1,000 a month. So you guys can check out like real results to know that it's legit. Like, what I teach will help you grow a 6-figure tax and bookkeeping business. Krista, ProConnect Tax Online also gives you QuickBooks Online Accountant that I can use for my bookkeeping business also, but yeah, honestly, you could get QuickBooks Online Accountant without it. Like, QuickBooks Online Accountant is free. You can get that now. You don't have to have ProConnect. So we do use QuickBooks Online Accountant for our bookkeeping clients. So I always tell my clients to get QuickBooks Online Accountant, as well as go for the Pro Advisor training program, because the Pro Advisor training program is free, right? And it gets you the added benefits of, you know, being able to advertise that you are a QuickBooks Pro Advisor. So I would do both. You don't have to get ProConnect tax software though to get QuickBooks Online for free, Online Accountant for free. Audra, no. So you don't have to have an EA. You do not have to have an EA to be successful in taxes. You do want to know tax law though. So you just have to self-study tax law in order to be confident in preparing taxes. And then as you're doing taxes and as you're making money, you guys can start to prepare for your exams, right? You can start studying. Make sure you just set aside like 1 to 2 hours a day to study, that you're taking the exam as soon as you have the information like retained in your head. And yeah, and so no, it's not required. Okay, so somebody says, what about TaxSlayer Pro? So let me see, I don't know. Let's share my screen again. Let's look at TaxSlayer Pro. What is that? All right, so let's type in that, TaxSlayer Pro. Okay, professional software for tax preparation. Let's check them out. Okay, so let's go to products and pricing. So you do have a few products. Let's go to their cloud-based, because we're on the cloud, guys. We want software that's virtual. All right, so it says with an unlimited 1040 program, you get a mobile tax office, bank products, a taxes to go mobile app, unlimited tax rated support, free unlimited filing. Okay, so where's your pricing at? Purchase now. Okay, so it says TaxSlayer Pro Premium includes an unlimited 1040 program that gives you free e-filing business package, or okay, so for $13.95. Okay, and then you got TaxSlayer Pro Web unlimited transmit for $13.95, $10.95. Okay, so they're all of their packages. So what's the difference between the classic? Everything in the e-file transmit included with purchase the word reading. So this one is only individual, but if you want individual in business, oh wait, no, this is classic. This must be the software that you download, and then you got the web. It's unlimited 1040. So unlimited 1040 is $13.95, whereas my tax prep office unlimited 1040 is $4.95. That's not even including my discount that you guys get. And then you got the premium, so unlimited 1040 and business package is $13.95. And if you want unlimited individual and business is $7.95, not including the discount that you guys get, which is Krista, all caps. And then this is how the back end process looks. So once you get my tax prep office, you're gonna go down this list. You can access your dashboard, do your returns. You can send your clients a link to onboard themselves, and then you actually gonna go into their profile, and it's really super easy to use. And then their documents is gonna be right here on the right hand side. So when they take a picture of their W-2s or their 1099s, you're gonna easily access that and complete their tax return all in one screen. So honestly, guys, you can't beat, you cannot beat even without the discount, like you can't beat the prices that they have on here compared to some of these other folks. And I'm not saying this is not a good software. Like it looks like it's nice, right? But now you just gotta, like, if all else is the same, then what else can you look at? If the software looks great, if it allows you to work virtually, if all else is the same, then you just go by price, right? That's what happens typically. So I would just say demo it, see how you like it, and go from there. But the price definitely, if it's just the same as my tax prep office, if it's not better, then now you just have to go off pricing at this point. Keystone software. For branding purposes as a CPA, do you think I should use my original name or a DBA business name? Additional factor is that my name is foreign and hard to pronounce. Well, I would need to know your name to let you know. But honestly, maybe you could just use your last name. Maybe it could just be, let's just say your last name is, well, my mother's last name is Almanza, and that's, a lot of people will butcher that when they hear it. So, but I would still use my last name. I would do Almanza and Associates, right? I think using your name is very professional, and you don't have to use your whole name, but you can do something like and Associates, something like that, to make it professional. So yeah, it could just be Taxable and Associates or Taxable CPAs or something like that. Yeah, I would use your name. I would use your name. For sure. I would use your name. And that's just my personal opinion. And that's me coming from using both. So when I first got into business, my name was Dynamite Tax and Financial Service. I thought I was going to be like this big franchisor. I thought I was going to have hundreds of franchise offices. I was like, it's going to be a Dynamite Tax on every corner. Right. And, like a year into it, I started becoming embarrassed about telling people what the name of my business was. So I ended up changing my name to Krista Tias and Associates, right? So that's what we go by now. So you guys can Google Krista Tias and Associates. You can see my BBB rating. You know, you can pull up all of my information on like LinkedIn and Facebook, and yeah, and I really like that. And then I have CPAs like you, Nazem, that just use their name. They just use their first and last name CPA, and that works beautifully as well. So I would say use your name or use your last name and Associates. I think it's really professional. Unless you had these major plans on like becoming a huge brand, which is rare, like, you know, and even still, you can always change your name later. What if your name is Smith? That's a good question. So yeah, that is a really good question because that is a common name. And that's interesting. Like, yeah, Smith. So yeah, so I mean, I would just play with it. Smith Advisors and Associates, Smith and Associates. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would play with the last name or just use my whole name. So I would use W. Smith and Associates, right? I would say something like that, and go that route. All right, guys, a few more questions and then we can wrap it up. So someone says, can we do payment plans for your program? Yeah, so my program is $9.97, and everybody that joins my program that does the work makes their money back within the first 30 to 45 days. So they either lock in their first bookkeeping client at a minimum of $500 per month, which is $6,000 a year, or they get a tax client at $1,500 or whatever. Like, people that do the work make their money back within the first 45 days of working with me. And they go on to be very successful. I noticed that people that take the most amount of action within 30 days of work with me, they go on to make 5 to 10 grand per month within a matter of like 3 to 6 months. So I do have a payment plan. You can make 3 payments of $395. Or you can make 1 full payment of $997. And Tax and Accounting Clients on Demand has all of my programs. So if you are completely new to bookkeeping, to taxes, or to wanting to become an EA, all those programs are included in the $997 program, just so you guys know. Last question here. So AD says, what is your opinion on artificial intelligence affecting the future of the tax business? I read that AI will have a major impact on the tax business. Yeah, so honestly, that's where, okay, so what's going to be impacted is the bookkeeping process. So now you have, artificial intelligence, you have software that can do the bookkeeping for you, which is allocate the transactions, categorize the transactions, pull a profit and loss statement, a balance sheet. It doesn't take a lot of skill to do some of this basic data entry, such as like, for instance, TurboTax. It doesn't take a lot of skill to prepare a simple tax return. So now it would be really simple with AI to just snap a picture of one W-2, answer a few questions, and artificial intelligence can prepare the entire tax return, right? Or to sync up your bank account, and artificial intelligence can just do the basic bookkeeping. What is not going to be impacted and what's going to be very valuable is the analytical side of tax law and accounting. So if you can focus on the industry, become really good at that industry, become the expert, you're going to be able to advise your clients on strategies, right? And that's what people are going to eventually start to pay for, because bookkeeping is becoming just outsourced completely by software, and the tax, like simple taxes, will become outsourced completely by software. But what's not going to be outsourced is strategy, like your mind, like being able to look at a company and help them decipher on best tax law strategies, tax planning strategies that's going to be able to reduce their tax liability. You're going to be able, like, software will become your friend in that instance. It's just going to help you work better. It's going to be able to help you advise your clients on a much higher capacity. So that's where you guys want to go. You want to like learn the basics, but eventually software is going to be able to do a lot of that basic data entry for you. Now it's going to be about, how can I understand how to get this business to the next level? How can I take this company that's making $500,000 a year and help them get to $2 to $3 million a year? What is some budget and forecasting strategies? What are some analytics with their profit and loss or their balance sheet that we need to restructure or reconsider or reevaluate? And that's what artificial intelligence is not going to take over your brain, like your ability to help people make better decisions for the future. So if it's after the fact, AI is probably going to be able to take it over, like software would take it over, like after the fact bookkeeping, after the fact tax preparation. But I don't foresee taking over like strategy, right? And that's what you guys want to become. You want to become strategists for your clients and help them look to the future and make better decisions with their money, their finances, while using tax law and accounting to do that. Oh, she says she purchased a TaxSlayer Pro you put up $100 down. I mean, I don't know if you can cancel. I don't know. You can call them and see if you can. Not for nothing, you might lose $100. But if you use my discount code Krista, you're going to get not my software, but the software that I recommend for like $595. So you're still going to save like $800 versus what you're going to spend with TaxSlayer Pro. So that's something to consider. Like, you know, you're still saving several $100s if they don't allow you, if they don't give you your $100 back. Yep. All right, great, guys. I love having these conversations. So if you have any questions outside of this video after I end it, drop them below. I definitely go back and answer all of my questions. Also, I'll put some links in there for you guys to check out so you can get more information on how we could potentially work together. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.